Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. Yes, we've got a lot going on, and we're doing a pumpkin beer. And I know some people are like, oh, I don't do pumpkin beer. I don't like pumpkin beer. Okay, if you've tried it, and you've tried one made with real pumpkin, and you don't like it, all good. If you've just never had one, you might want to try a real pumpkin beer. And there's a difference. There is pumpkin flavored, which means they put the spices in it, but no pumpkin. And then there is pumpkin brewed with real pumpkin and spices. That's a real pumpkin beer. You can get away with doing Scotch ale yeast, which is far from my favorite ale yeast, and it actually tastes really good. It complements pumpkin beer really good. But I have a go-to, tried and true, and we're gonna be doing a couple little experiments, nothing massive, but one I think a lot of Anvil brewers and possibly other people brewing with all-in-one systems will be extremely interested in. So keep watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Definitely appreciate it. Yes, you're seeing it up here. We got the Brew Bag from the company who makes the Brew Bag. And this came direct from Anvil, who sells the Brew Bag for their systems, but it is still the brand, the Brew Bag. So seriously, I mean, yeah, this thing is like, I have never seen something so well made as far as a brew bag goes. This thing is super sturdy and just really, really nice. So, and yes, I bought a pulley system so I can lift this thing and hold it up. But we'll get to watch that. And I'm gonna brew in a new area. I'm gonna brew downstairs. Hopefully we can fight with the air conditioners, see how that goes. But yeah, the intro is gonna be a little long, so I'll try to chop it up for the rest because there's a lot going on. First of all, we are actually using real pumpkin. And I'm gonna use my London ale yeast over here, and I'll use one of 5 different lager yeasts I've been doing starters on all week, off and on, just to build them up. I've narrowed it down to about 2, because here's one of our problems already I'm starting to face, is that our ABV, according to Beersmith, is going to be between 8.4 to what they call, and that's estimated ABV, to actual could be 8.9. But I added a whole nother, almost another pound of pumpkin, so we could be pushing over 9%. It's worth it. It's a great beer. The perceived sweetness from the alcohol, because I'm gonna try to get it as fermented, as dry as I can, is going to complement the flavors of the pumpkin and everything else I'm putting in there. But just for everybody out there, for the pumpkin, I normally get a different brand, and I normally get organic. Yeah, they offer this in organic and non-organic, and word on the street is they're coming from the same source. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna order, or not order, but locally buy the cheapest quality pumpkin I could find, and that was it. So I've made a few changes. First of all, I normally use 4.68 pounds, or for everyone else, 2.12 kilograms of pumpkin, just 100% pure pumpkin pulp, and I roast it. That is the key. I have learned that many years back. Don't just add pumpkin to your beer if you're gonna do a pumpkin beer. Roast it in the oven, flip it over once it starts to brown, roast it on the other side, then you can either dump it in towards the end of the boil, or you can dump it into your fermenter, because everything's dead. Everything's dead, trust me. If you've roasted it twice like that, you're good. So we're gonna go to 5.62 pounds, just a hair under a pound, but more, but 5.62 pounds, and that's for 5 gallons. I'm doing exactly 5 gallons, which is 2.55 kilograms of pumpkin. So yeah, that's a little more than a pound. Instead of just under a pound, it's a little bit more than a pound per gallon. For everybody else, I'll let you figure out the liters, but that math shouldn't be too hard. Another change is last time, which has been 2 years ago, I used 2 Tangelos. I don't know what it is about these things, but the zest is so bright and aromatic, and I mean, just amazing, nice, sweet oils in the zest. And they were a little bit bigger than this. So technically I'm going 2.5 because these are a little smaller. So I'm doing 3, and that's 2 years ago. So my mind might be not, remembering correctly. I might be playing tricks on myself. So we're gonna do 3 Tangelo Zests. I did weigh it out last time. I think it was like 1.15 ounces of zest. So we'll see, we'll weigh the zest so I'll know exactly what we're putting in there. And I definitely will put that at the very end. I want to make sure the wort is hot. Worst case, I could heat it up in water or excess wort and dump it in, because you want to get that stuff nice and warm. From my understanding, if you take the zest and you get it nice and warm, it helps to release a lot of those oils that you want to be in your beer. And I know a lot of people are thinking, a pumpkin beer with orange in it? Trust me, and I'm allergic to oranges. So I can have a little, I can't have much. But it just gives it a brightness and a little more pop. It's like putting a little salt on your fries, you know what I mean? It's that accent that just kind of brings everything out and brings everything together. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm gonna go over, when we add the brewing salts on the side, we'll show you what the brewing salts are. Anything I add, I'll make sure to let you know exactly what those numbers are so you know what's going in. Right now, we're gonna go over what we're gonna put in the beer. And the grain crush will be the same. I run pretty low on the grain crush. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but I know about where it is on the roller or the crusher. But yeah, so it'll be the same crush. There'll be no difference there. So that way we can see what our efficiencies are versus this versus that. I am not looking forward to cleaning that. That's one of my reasons I don't like it. And I will not be putting it in the grain basket because I think that kind of defeats part of the purpose. It's just gonna go straight in and rock and roll. Okay, let's go over the recipe. So we have 7 pounds, 6 ounces of Maris Otter, 1 pound, 4 ounces of Munich Dark. And this entire recipe has been finely tuned over the years and reduced a little bit, but it is a bit complex. There is quite a bit to this recipe, but everything was put in here for a reason. The Munich gives it a nice subtle hint of sweet and it gives it that nice richness. I have 1 pound, 4 ounces of flaked wheat. That helps keep the flavor on your palate. If you've watched things I've talked about with fruit beers, wheat is just the bomb when it comes to fruit beers. 12 ounces of victory malt, gives you that nice light toasted biscuit, which goes great with pumpkin. Half a pound of honey malt. It should be obvious. Honey, pumpkin, yeah, they go together really well. And then I know these two don't really seem to make a lot of sense, but together, and I've narrowed the recipe down because I had a lot more caramel malts in here. I didn't want to change it too much because I was afraid it would impact the quality, and the beer has just been amazing every time I've brewed it, so I don't want to modify it too much. But I have 6 ounces of caramel crystal 10L and 5.2 ounces of caramel crystal 40L. And I could have gone British 35 or something like that and met somewhere in the middle, but that is what it is. Then of course, you know me, I got 6 ounces of rye malt. The rye gives it a hint of spice, complements it, kind of counterbalance, kind of the sweet versus spice, just like bitter and sweet. And then 5.2 ounces of aromatic malt. The aromatic malt is quite obvious. You want the malts to stand out. You want all the aroma to be there. I have reduced my brown sugar a little bit. It's down to 10.5 ounces. Originally it was up around 12 ounces. And then I added into the recipe, not because I'm gonna add this, I add 7.3 ounces of corn sugar, and that was for 4.68 pounds of pumpkin. So I'm gonna have to adjust that up. That's where I'm thinking we're gonna go over 9%. I put the corn sugar in the recipe to account for what I expect to get out of the pumpkin, because there's no way I can find to get the pumpkin in here and calculate my, you know, OG based on the pumpkin edition. So the corn sugar is just a placeholder for the pumpkin. There's no corn sugar being put in here. Currently I'm looking at Tatnang, yeah, the one I can't really say, but needless to say, nobody's complained too much. A 1.65 to get it up to around 25 IBU theoretical, somewhere in the middle for a fruit beer and kind of balance things out a bit. And then my London Ale. My London Ale is definitely going in the ale. As far as the yeast for the lager, like I said, I have about 5 on my little stir bars going, and yeah, I'm narrowed it down to about 2. Only reason I've narrowed it down to 2 is that the majority of them don't seem to tolerate ABVs above 9%. So there's a few others that go a little higher than 9, and since we're gonna probably hit close to 9, maybe over, maybe just under, I wanna have a little more gap in that tolerance, you know what I mean? So that is pretty much it. I need to crush the grains, get the water into the Anvil foundries. We got our Jaded Scyllas. I have 2 of those for chilling, so we're good there. I've got some quick connects. They do restrict the water flow a little bit, but the convenience outweighs it, in my opinion. Other than that, I can't think of anything else, but hey, let's get brewing. Okay, we're outside, new location. Yes, it's actually, we're under the deck, my car, my garage, but I figured it's easier with these because I need a pulley system to pull that out and keep this up high enough so that you can see it. So this will be our brew in a bag unit. This will be our non-brew in a bag unit. I'm gonna start doing stuff here. I covered that so it doesn't evaporate, but we're gonna go ahead and get the brewing salts in here. There we go, we'll stir it up. And we'll go over here. And yes, I'm gonna have to space these out a little bit. So we'll mash in on one and then we'll mash in on the other because I'm not gonna be able to do everything at identical timing. So we'll go over here, drop in the brewing salts. That's the fire department. They go by about 20 times a day, if not more. That's probably just the amount of times I notice. And that doesn't include when I'm asleep. More fire department. Hardest working people I know around here. Okay, if you look at the water, it's kind of chalky because it's from the chalk. Yeah, I'll make sure to put the brewing salts up so you can see them if I didn't already. Okay, let's get ready to get mashed in. So what do I think about using any all-in-one system like an Anvil or any other system with a giant brew in a bag? I don't know, this is the first time. I did brew in a bag a ton on 1 gallons, 2 gallons, things like that. And yeah, this will be my first big brew in a bag. And currently I like the metal colander type system because that's what I went to instead of using a brew in a bag in the 1 gallon systems. I just didn't see the point. So let's see how this goes. Okay, time to put the brew in a bag in. And I'm knocking things around. Okay. Honestly, I kind of think I got it inside out, but honestly, I don't really think it matters. You got the seaming inside and out. And why do I know to tuck it around like this? Because I've been watching other people. Yeah, mainly on Facebook and how they set theirs up. So I'll have to get some clamps and stuff so we can get mashed in, but that's it. Okay, we're gonna get mashed in on this one really quick. Yes, I'm putting rice hulls in here. I have some rye, but I have a lot of wheat. I'm gonna put quite a bit of rice hulls in here. And yes, I'm just gonna put it on top because everything else will blend in. It'll be all good. Only got 12.5 pounds of grain, so it's not too bad on the grains, but yeah, I'd rather have no issues. Okay, I already see a thing I don't seem to care for. There we go. Okay, I don't have a way to displace it, but it doesn't matter. It's just liquid sitting on top. So I think it'll be fine, and it's just gonna recirc. I just wanna keep it as even as possible. If I can find something to kind of spread it around, I will. I'm not really worried. Okay, time to mash in with the basket, which has a small batch adapter. Slide that on down in there. I'm gonna do the same thing with the rice hulls because of the wheat and because of the rye. And then we gotta find the metal spoon again. There it is. Okay, and we'll speed this up as usual. Okay, as I said, I'm not a huge supporter of brewing a bag because I've been there, done that, and kind of burn out and like in the basket. But with that said, I'm starting to see some benefits on the brew in a bag. One, I don't have the dead space that I have around the actual basket. Some systems have a lot, some have a little, they all have some. And I don't feel that area gets circulated properly. I just don't. And lifting the basket a couple times pretty much proves it doesn't. So I will be lifting the basket over here at least twice, actually at least once, most likely twice, 15 minutes and 30. Over here, because the water isn't being displaced, even though it's, yeah, it's just more water volume because I don't have the missing water that's in the dead space. I will stir it up twice, kind of get it even, but I was expecting slightly better efficiencies over here, but now I'm kind of suspecting I might have better over here. Maybe they'll be equal. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. But we're getting there. I had to lower the power just because it was getting out of control. Okay, the alarm just went off. So let's clear that. And let's get it up to 168. Get ready for the mash out and sparge. And based on this not taking up as much, or not having as much dead space and taking up more overall volume of the liquid, I'm gonna think a sparge is not gonna be as impactful. It'll still help to rinse any residual sugars that are stuck to the grains as I pull it up, but it won't be as necessary because, I don't know. Jury's out. We're gonna let this get up to 168. I kicked it up to 100%. And once it hits 168, we'll sit there for 10 minutes. Then we will lift the brew in a bag out. We'll try to rinse it. That's gonna be fun. And then we'll go from there. I do have a ladder. Yes, I do have a ladder. This one's getting close and we'll have to do the same over here. Okay, we just hit 168 here. I'll lower the power and we're beeping. So we're ready to move on up over here. So let me drop the power over here. Try for 80%. Over here, we're gonna hit 100% on power. So we're gonna kick the temperature up to 168. There we go. I did lift this one twice. I did stir that one twice, so we'll see. Okay, we just hit 10-minute mark. So I'm gonna pull the bag out and get ready to sparge. I'll move this so it doesn't get drenched. It's supposed to be water resistant, but it's not waterproof. Use the clamp here to keep this from falling. That should work. Okay, take the bag. And there we go. Always have a backup plan, always have a backup plan. Hook. And hook. I officially have 4 hooks holding the whole bag together. Okay, now let's see how this works. This is not my forte, should we say? Hooking, pulling, and oh, something slipped. Hopefully nothing slips and falls, because this could be dangerous. Okay, it looks pretty good to me. Okay, it's out. I'm afraid if I pull it up too high, it's gonna move. So, we're gonna let that drip. I actually did a pretty good job on that. I was a little concerned. Like I said, it's not my thing. So, yeah. All day long. Okay, this bad boy just hit 168. I stopped it, dropped it to 85. It's already going, I don't know why it's having a problem getting up to temp for 188. It seems a little unusual. Okay, we'll set it to 88, see how it does. And if I have to kick it up a little bit more to keep the power where it needs to be, I will. And we're gonna start the timer. There we go. Got 10 minutes here. I'll let that drip. I'm gonna go get the sparge water. Okay, I've got a gallon of sparge water here. Not really sure how I'm supposed to do this without burning myself. Actually, I do. Pyrex to the rescue. I don't know how much this is going to help. I think it will help a little, but I don't know if it's going to be huge. You know what I mean? And I'm still not sure how I'm supposed to get the water in there without creating a bigger problem. That sounded good. Yeah, it's hitting the malts. Kind of rinse a little bit on the sides. It's actually going through the bag this way too. I just feel like I need a spray bottle that can tolerate 170 degree water. Okay, now I'm starting to understand why some people in the big brewing bag where you have all that extra space are not sparging. I used to, but I had a much smaller bag. It was much easier to work with. Yeah, I'm thinking, although this will help to get a little bit of the sugars off, it might be worth sacrificing a point of OG not to have to worry about it, because, I mean, it's a little dangerous. Sometimes you do something that seems kind of dumb, but it works for what you're trying to do, then, you know, whatever. There we go. Okay, it's definitely still dripping, even more so now, so we'll let it drip for a little bit, and we'll come back to it, and then we'll kick it up to a boil. And then sparge out. This is my 5th bottle of water. It is 90 degrees, was 91 earlier, and according to the weather department, it feels like 102. Not sure why they don't say 102. And on top of all of that, it's gonna rain in probably an hour, unless I'm really lucky and it goes around me. And it's 3 hours of rain off and on around the area. So I'm hoping it misses me, but cools the weather down. For safety reasons. Been there, done that, don't wanna do it. Ow, 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 ow. Like I said, been there, done that, don't wanna do it. And I did it anyways. Burned myself a little bit. There we go. Okay. And I got leverage. And that is really hot. Starting to think the feet are about as dangerous as the ring. I like the ring better, just personally. I like the ring. Okay, we're gonna let that drip for a minute. I'm gonna go get the sparge water and we'll be rocking and rolling. Oh, I'm letting that go for a little longer too. Okay, time to sparge. Oh, getting hot, getting tired. Okay, we're gonna let this one drip for a little bit before I crank it up. I'm gonna get ready to crank that one up now. It's still dripping a tiny bit, but I don't think it's gonna drip that much more. Okay, so let's see if I can figure this out. I'm not a mechanical person, so. There we go. Pick it up a little higher. Oops, dripping down the side. And then we bring it on down here. Oh, I just thought of something. I don't have to put it all the way in. That way, if I get a little more dripping, I can take and use that. Okay, that'll work. I'm gonna go ahead and kick this up to a boil, and I have to go get the hops. I gotta find them somewhere in the freezer with all the other hops. And there we go. Once it hits a boil, we'll start our timer. I am gonna do a 90-minute boil because I didn't account for a 60-minute, and I kind of wanted to keep it the same as my previous batches because they've been amazing. Maybe I'll lower it next time. We'll see. Okay, so the clouds have gotten darker, so I've got an umbrella just in case. And over here, it's been dripping long enough. So we're gonna kick this up to a boil. This one's almost to a boil. And we'll set that down there. There we go. And I'm almost done with bottle number 6. Yeah. Plus I had 24 ounces of coffee earlier. Power. And I'm still dripping. And I've had a BLT. And I'm still hungry. There we go. Okay, so this is getting ready. That's looking like it's hitting a boil, so let's move on over there. Defoamer just in case. I'll set that down there for now. I'll give this a nice little pump just to recirculate a little bit of what's in there. Not to mention it sometimes helps knock this down, which it did. Okay, that looks like a rolling boil. It says 210, but I'm gonna start it because that's a rolling boil. Start, and all the timers. We got 90 minutes on the boil. We got 30 minutes before our first hop addition and our only hop addition. The hop addition is 1.75 ounces of Tatnang. I think it's 4.6. I'll put it up here somewhere. I'm going to add just a little bit less than 2 ounces, basically because I'm taking into consideration a 10% loss in bittering since the hops are just a hair over a year, probably going on almost a year and a quarter to a year and a half. So, and in the last 10 minutes, we'll add all of our spices. I'm gonna add the pumpkin into the fermenter after roasting it. And then we're also going to add all the other lovely things. I don't know if I have any Werflock tablets, so we're gonna have to add something else. I have several other options. Okay, I'm at 212. I'm gonna start the timer. I keep fighting the boilovers. There we go, timers are going. We've got about 5 minutes over there before we have to drop the hops. Got an umbrella. I may have to put it back over the top of the brew area because it started to rain. It seems to be slowing down, but I still hear the thunder and the little drips. 3, 2, 1, hop time. One and only hop addition. Like I said, it is supposed to be 1.75 if your Tatnang is fresh. You can use Halata. You can use any fresh noble hops or hops that don't, you know, contribute a lot of aroma. You just really want it for bittering. Something nice and mild. I did use literally just a hair under 2 ounces to account for the 10% loss because mine I did figure out is about a year and three, maybe a hair more, but 3 months at least. Okay, we got 60 more minutes to boil. And I did find some more flock tablets, so I'm good. Otherwise, I had some regular Irish moss, like just Irish moss dried. And then I also had some special mixtured stuff that is nice, but the Werflock tablet does the best for me overall. Okay, we got 5 seconds over here before I gotta drop the hops. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the hops. So I added the hops, same hops as over in the other batch. It's just under 2 ounces of Tatnang at 4.6, and yeah. I'm accounting for, like I said, about a 10%, a little bit more than 10% IBU loss. So it should still keep me around the 25% IBU neighborhood, although if it was fresh, it would have been around 27.2 if I remember right. So we got another 35 minutes if my glasses don't keep fogging up. And over here we got a whole hour. Let's rock and roll. Okay, we're in the last 10 minutes. I got lots of additions. It's gonna do half a whirlflock, minus a hair that for some reason fell in there. There we go. Okay, I just do a whole whirlflock, screw it. I got 2.55, which is considerably more than what I did before on Tangelos. So definitely dropping that in there. Nah, I got all the spices, pumpkin spices, just dumping that in there. Trying to think of anything else I need to add in there. Yeast nutrient. I'm doing better than usual here. Probably won't need any yeast nutrient technically because of all the crap I just put in there. There's probably plenty of nutrients. Okay. Stir that bad boy up a little. Oh yeah, definitely. Tangelos all over the place. It's clumping a little too, so I need to break that up. I think last time I put it in a hop bag, I don't remember. I'll have to watch the video. Yeah, I actually watch my own videos sometimes just to see what I did last time. Don't always remember, and you don't always take the best of notes. You think you do, but you don't. Even if you're not doing YouTube, taking videos of yourself doing stuff that you're gonna repeat is really awesome. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's smelling like pumpkin just from the spices. I'm roasting the actual pumpkin upstairs. Okay, there we go. Whew. Smells really pumpkin-y, and I haven't even added pumpkin. Okay, still have about 4.5 minutes. I'm gonna take this, drop this in there. Run a little bit of wort through here just to make sure everything there has been cleaned and boiled. There we go. Okay, that's it. Calling it. Time to chill it. Bringing you in for a close-up. Temperature is dropping really, really fast. So we'll chill it down, move it to the fermenter, and rock on. But hey, we still got another batch over here. Okay, we're at about just a little over 9 minutes and 50 seconds. I got the whirlflock on here and the 2.55 ounces of Tangelo. Get in there, get all in there. There we go. Yeah, it's all good. Spices, if I didn't put it on the last one, I'll list them on this one, but smells heavenly. And because I want all, if I don't burn myself, all the spices in there. No, I can't sing. So there we go. And last but not least, yeast nutrient. I put a little extra in the last one, so I figure I could do the same in here. Okay, there we go. Whew. Getting hit with pumpkin and Tangelo. Oh my God. If you don't know what Tangelo is, imagine tangerine and orange blended. Yeah, it's like steroids. Citrus on steroids. It's amazing. I'm not like I said, I'm allergic to oranges, but if I do an orange wit beer, I guess I would use Tangelo because I'll get the best possible flavor. It will just be absolutely amazing. Just trying to chop up the Tangelo. It seems to clump a little once it hits the heat, which is kind of weird. You would think just fruit zest would just break all apart. You would think. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go get the other Jaded Scylla and get ready to drop it on in there. Okay, we're going into the last 5 minutes. I want to sterilize this since the other one's still going. So happy I have two. Sorry, thought about giving one away, but yeah, no. I love these things. Okay, that dropped the temperature a bit. We'll give it 5 minutes and then we'll connect it, kill it, and chill it. Okay, we are at the last 25 seconds. And that is really, really hot. Fudge! 6.5. Dang. That hurt. That hurt a lot. Ah, okay, we're good. We can drop water. Whew. And let's kill the boil. Whew. Off. Agitation. Poor man's agitation. On. Yeah, I'm not touching that. I know better. Freaking hurt. Damn, that hurt. Need some ice, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go get some ice for that. We're at 95 Fahrenheit there. We're at 178, 77. Yeah, I think most of the heat transferred to my hand. Okay, yes, it was a long day. Such a long day. I took a shower, took a nap, and I'm back. And yes. Okay. I honestly thought that the Brew in a Bag, which is right here, probably did better in efficiencies than no Brew in a Bag. I will tell you the Brew in a Bag was shockingly easier to clean. Yes, easier to clean. Hose that thing out a couple times, all good. Yeah, easier to clean than the basket. The basket's a pain, especially since I have the slightly older one where it's all one unit. I can't pull the bottom off and clean it. It's just a little bit bigger pain than Brew in a Bag. Brew in a Bag was easier. Okay, I added the pumpkin. I did not take gravity readings initially with pumpkin in it. I took a gravity reading to compare the actual brews. And here's where I was shocked. The Brew in a Bag technically did 69.9, or should we say 69.9, but technically did almost 71. Reason being is my boil off was a little lower, just a little. After I did all those readings, then I evened them out, so they should be about even now as far as total volume, although this still looks a little lower. My boil off was a tiny bit better over here, not by much. But with the actual brew basket, my efficiency, let's see if I can find it again, was 74.3. So let's say that's 69.9. Let's say it would be 71 or 79 or 70.99. But either way, let's just call it 71. So 3 points better efficiency with the basket. Now I did take the basket, lift it twice like I said, but I stirred the hell out of this twice, and yeah, better efficiencies with the basket. That was kind of shocking actually. I felt that maybe it would have been better. I have a feeling that when you rinse the grains, it does better over here, but what do you say, jury's still out? But yeah, the efficiency was better with the basket than without the basket. So, basket stays for now. I had 820, 833, 838, and a Weiss 2206, and a White Labs 830. So I had 5 different yeasts for lagering, and I have decided to go with White Labs 830. Why? Well, it only goes to 10%, and this, based on the efficiencies and the adjustments, is going to go be 7.3% or 8.2 with the pumpkin. So at that, I'm good because the 830 goes all the way to 10. 10's fine, not a problem. I've got plenty of a buffer. My London ale, as usual, for my ale version, which I've always used and loved with that. I just think it's a great ale for that, or ale yeast. That one will be 7.8, and with the pumpkin, it should end up around 8.7. So we're gonna have an 8.3, nope, sorry, 8.2 and an 8.7, hopefully. And that's assuming the final gravities are pretty low. If the final gravities aren't as low, which there's always that possibility, the ABV is gonna be a little lower, which is gonna be fine. I'm okay with that, actually. So right here, I have about 3 days worth of starters combined here. I probably need to do bigger starters, but yeah, instead of just multiple, you know, cold crash, add, cold crash, add. Okay, here we go. And we're gonna dump half of that, which is about 1.5 times what I added last time when it did not produce nearly as well. Whew, got a little smell to it. Not a bad smell though. Next we're gonna add most of that, and I'll reproduce this one. That way I get a nice pitch. Hopefully I won't have any residual sugars left, at least not that many, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead, we'll close this bad boy up. I have the tool to take that off so I can tighten it up a little bit. I have scrubbed the hell out of these and I still smell ever so subtle smoke. Just permeate it, everything. Okay, there we go. Okay, over here we're doing our ale. Where is my magnet? Gotta grab the stir bar, rip the magnet. Okay, let's stir it up. Yeah, and I decided to go with these as fermenters. I just wanted it to be as close to the same as possible. It's easier for measuring and everything else. Get a note of fruit. It's not known for fruit, but get a little note of, can't tell if that's mango or guava. I want to say guava. It's a little weird. I'm not used to that. Okay. And we'll close this bad boy up. I got pumpkin around the inside edges. Yeah, who knows what'll start growing there. Hopefully nothing bad, but hey, we'll see. Okay, we'll close that up, a little snug. I don't really smell the smoke on this one as much, but tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Okay, so we're gonna put this in at 50 Fahrenheit, and I'm gonna put this in, if I remember right, I gotta double check, but pretty sure it's 68 Fahrenheit. I'm gonna keep it on the low side. We'll taper up as we get towards the end of the fermentation, and we'll see how it comes out. I'm extremely excited. I haven't brewed a pumpkin ale in, like I said, almost 2 years. And, you know, kicking it, doing a lager version, I have a feeling the lager version is gonna be much smoother. Just usually is for lagers versus ales. But the ale may have a little more flavor, a little more, you know, behind it, should we say, not just the ABV. Thank you again for joining us here at Bitter Reality Brewing. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Looking forward to Asheville. Very excited. So thank you again.